Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to Competitive Communicators, where we compete with ourselves. I am your Acting Sergeant at Arms, William Thomas, also your VP of Membership. And I want to tell you, if you need to go to the bathroom or something, please turn your camera off so we don't see that. And if you need to leave the room, no, seriously, that has happened to me. That has happened. But anyway, on a more serious note, I turn it over to our acting president and EVP and all-around awesome Toastmaster, Marty. Marty.
Thank you for the introduction to me. Thank you. Well, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Exciting to be part of 2018, and you are how we started off in 2017 and so many good things ahead. We always start our meetings off by introducing everybody, so let's get right to that. Let's start right away. Let me put us in gallery view here so I can see everybody. Why don't we start with Mr. William? Oh, and what we want everybody to do is say your name, where you're from, and back to you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Okay? So, William, you're first.
Mr. President Pro Tem, fellow Toastmasters, fellow future Toastmasters, my name is William Thomas. I'm your VP of Membership, as I stated, and I live in Hollywood. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you, William. Okay, next, Dawn Nacera.
Hi, I'm Dawn Nocera, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Back to you, Mr. President.
Diane.
Hey, and I am in Westfield, Indiana. Back to you, Mr. President.
Okay. Teresa.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Teresa, and I'm from Sub-Zero, Alabama. Back to you, Mr. President.
Ooh, okay. Tanai.
My name is Tonoy Kumar Shah. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Tanai. Misako.
Hi, Acting Mr. President. My name is Misako York, connecting from Pacific Northwest Washington. Back to you, President.
Joel. Thank you, Misako. Joel.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joel Lindgren, calling from Billings, Montana. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. And back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you very much, Joel. Tricia.
Hi. Tricia from Northeastern Pennsylvania, wishing you a Happy New Year. Back to you, Acting President Marty.
Thank you, Trish. Michelle.
Michelle, me? Okay,
yes,
it's me.
you.
Yeah, because there's another there's a Michelle Orsi. So hi, I'm Michelle Albalim. There are two Michelles in this club, so I'm Michelle Albalim, usually in Oregon, currently in Manila, Philippines. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you, Michelle. Jerry from Tennessee.
I'm Jerry Lindsay from Music City, Tennessee, Nashville. Back to you, Mr. President.
Okay, Kanan.
Yeah, I am Kanan Shankara. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. Back to you, Acting President. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanan. Adrian.
Hi, everybody. I'm Adrienne Williams. I'm in Miami, Florida. Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Deborah.
Oh, hi, my name is Deborah Mayers. I'm in Redlands, California. Back to you, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Deborah. Neil.
Neil August from South Florida. Back to you, Mr. President.
Ooh, Neil's always got the cool backgrounds. All right.
Whoa.
Chris
like
Gregory.
Beach, California. Formerly from Montreal, Quebec. Mr. President.
Thank you, Chris. Dominic. Your turn, Dominic. Oh, sounds like his sound is not working. That's okay, Dominic. Welcome. Good to see you again, man. Aaron.
Hi everyone, my name is Aaron. So I am from Hong Kong. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you. And last but not least, Lori Freeman.
Lori
Yes.
Freeman from Crosby, Texas. Back to you, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you, Lori. Did I miss anybody? Let's see. It doesn't look like anybody. All right, we've got everybody. Awesome. Well, again, welcome to Competitive Communicators. We have an exciting evening planned, and we would like right now to introduce our topics, our Toastmaster of the day, and that would be Tricia. I'm sorry, that's not true. Teresa, I apologize. Teresa Palmer, I forgive you.
Hi. Good evening, good morning. Bonjour, bonsoir, everyone. Happy New Year. We have a jam-packed meeting tonight. The Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 parts. The first is our speakers, and we have 3 speakers. I'm sorry, the first is table topics. The second part of our meeting is the speaking roles. And the third part of our meeting is the evaluation. We're going to start off with the inspiration, and that is also my role this evening. And my inspirational thought for today and for every year is, instead of having intentions or having New Year's resolutions, why not have a mantra? And there's 3 words that if you could follow and say these 3 words and do them every day, you don't need any New Year's resolution. It's attention, acceptance, and alteration. Attention is to focus on the task at hand, to be in the present moment, and to do one thing at a time. I know we're told as human beings that we need to multitask, but if you look at the animal kingdom, they rarely multitask. They keep their mind on what they're doing. The second is acceptance. Things are what they are. So when you look at a situation, look at the reality, look at what you're dealing with. It's good to be hopeful and it's good to have faith, but at the same time, it's important to realistically look at any situation. And the third is alteration, and that's alter your perspective. When faced with any type of a crisis, a challenge, or any type of a situation, instead of going into that downward spiral of frustration of this is going to happen, now that's going to happen, hence this is going to happen, change your perception of it. What can you learn? Use it as an opportunity to learn and to be a better person. And those are my words of wisdom for tonight. And with that, we will start with the roles. So if I could have the counter, Michelle Albalim, tell me your role, please.
Certainly. And thank you so much, Teresa, for giving me the chance to say that was a fabulous, fabulous mantra, and I took it down. That's not part of the accounter's role, but I always grab things that are worth noting, and that was fabulous. Attention, acceptance, alteration. They're all us, but in a positive way. The us that I will be counting are the us that we want to avoid. And they don't really come across as us all the time. Sometimes they're sometimes they're so's. They can also be double words like and, or so, or you know. I will be fairly flexible in what I count. And my style is to not really say Teresa had 3 us or Michelle had 5 us, but just to generally point these out because we just need to be aware of them. Back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. We go on to our next role and our helper, which is our grammarian, Jerry. Jerry, can you give us the word of the day and also tell us your role as grammarian, please?
A is authority. And my role as a grammarian is to watch for the usage of that word. And I want to share my screen today on authority. If I can. Authority. the power or right to give orders or make decisions, such as an admiral in command of a fleet, person or persons who exercise control over others, such as a parent or parents, an administrative unit of government, such as a CIA or FBI. And the sentences that I'm using in authority is, but I am also a man subject to authority, having under myself soldiers, and I say to this one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servants, come, do this, and he does it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jerry. And since right now I am in the power of authority, we will go on to the body language monitor and chat monitor. Both are William. So William, if you could tell us about your two roles.
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. The role of the body language monitor. I will look for good uses of body movement and also not so good uses of body movement. And we'll make a report on that when called upon by the Toastmaster of the day. Chat monitor. Well, as chat monitor, I'm going to look for the hot items in the chat and comment on those when requested by the Toastmaster of the day. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, William. And William is the authority on the body language in the chat for tonight. Our timer is Tanay Kumar Saha. Can you tell us your role of authority tonight?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. So today, as a timer, my role is to prepare these pieces. So I have prepared some cards. So this card I will use as the green card, and this will be my yellow card, and this will be my, sorry, why it is not working. Oh shit.
Just a quick point.
Sure.
The using a screen share, it might be very challenging because you will cover up the whoever is speaking, and it will also take several seconds to shift from you to the speaker. That's just an observation.
Sure. But I don't know. I do not have any other cards, so I have to use the share screen for today. Maybe next time I will be, like bring some say papers, colored papers. So is that okay?
It's not really gonna work.
You are the timer. You decide.
Sure. So this will be my red card, by the way. So for the table topics, each speaker will get 2 minutes. I will show the green card in 1 minute. The yellow card I will show in 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card I will show in 2 minutes. So you have to wrap it up within 30 seconds after I show the red card. For the prepared speeches, our first speaker is William. So for you, William, I will show my green card at 6 minutes, yellow card at 7 minutes, and at 8 minutes I will show my red card. For our second speaker, Adrian, I will show you the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. For our final speaker, Deborah, I'll show you the green card at 4 minutes, yellow card at 5 minutes, and at 6 minutes I will show the red card. And for evaluators, Marty, Chris, and Dawn, you have 2 to 3 minutes to finish your speeches. So I will show the green card at 2 minutes. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will show the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will show the red card. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Madam Toastmaster, I can interrupt just for a minute. So as President Pro Tem, I'm going to make a ruling here. We're sharing the screen. I feel is going to be very disruptive tonight, and I love the technology, but we're going to try it for the table topics and let's see how it works. But I really feel it's not really fair to the speakers to have to be interrupting their screens every minute. So let's see how it works for the table topics, and if not, is there somebody else who could be a backup who has cards?
Holding up my cards.
Michelle, okay, that's Michelle Albalim then. But we'll give it a try tonight. Let's give it a
sure.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
back to you, Toastmaster.
Okay. We're going to, first, before we go on to table topics, I'd like to acknowledge we have two guests. We have Lori and we have Dominic. Are they the only two guests that we have?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd like to acknowledge them. I apologize for not including you both in the beginning of the meeting. Our table topics master, the person who is the authority on table topics tonight, is Kanan. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Kanan.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Welcome to the table topic session, where everyone can enjoy the Toastmaster speaking experience. Even though the Toastmaster of the day has given me the authority to call anyone to ask the impromptu question, I would like to call the guest first. Remember, participation in this session is totally voluntary, and there is no right or wrong answer. For example, if I ask, what are the goals for 2018, you can say that you have scored a goal against Barcelona, I have scored a goal against the Manchester United, etc. like that. There is no right or wrong answer. Whatever you can speak is okay. You need to speak that 1 to 2 minutes timeline. Have fun, enjoy the idea is to learn, experience the Toastmaster, at the same time have fun. Learn and enjoy the speaking. First, I'm going to call Lori Freeman, the first guest, if she is okay to answer my question.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Lori, you can pick a number from 1 to 10. I have 10 questions, so you can pick a number 1 to 10. I will exactly ask that question, whatever you wanted.
3.
3. Lori, please please tell us any 3 things you would stop doing this year. Any 3 things you would stop doing this year.
Smoking, being unorganized, and driving too fast. It's any 3 things, right?
Yes, any 3 things.
Okay.
Right.
Do you want to explain that, or do you want to have, because you have got 1 to 2 minutes, you can go on and explaining something.
Well, of course, I need to quit smoking, and I drive too fast. I do need to slow down on my driving too fast. That's a definite thing. Except for I don't think about it until I'm not driving fast. Those would probably be 3 things that I would do.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is Dominic Auguste, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Dominic Auguste. Dominic?
Says don't use extension.
He's having computer problems. He's having computer problems. He's not going to be able to do it.
Okay.
Well, he could do it on my computer. He's going to do it. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So if there are no other people, I'm going to pick anyone from the group. Anybody who does not have any role today.
Dominic is ready.
He was ready.
Dominic is ready? I could not see him. Sorry. If
Yes,
Dominic
he's
is ready, I'm
waiting
going to
at
ask
the
him the
computer.
question. Okay. Okay. Dominic, what are your best moments in 2017? What are your best moments in 2017? Dominic.
I feel like my best moment was when I passed, because that's what I worked all of the majority of last year to do and the most of this year to do too. It's really important to pass, because then if I had to do 6th grade again, it would just not be fun at all, because I'd be learning the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a great answer.
Makes sense.
Very good.
Makes sense.
Okay. I'm going to pick one person at random. Evie, Alexander, are you willing to take the question? Give me a number 1 to 10, but not 3 or 6.
5.
5. What are your Toastmaster goals for 2018?
My Toastmasters goals for 2018 are very different from what I had for 2017. In 2017, I achieved both my Competent Communicator and Competent Leadership awards. In 2018, I'm really looking forward to Pathways. It hasn't reached our area yet, but I've been introduced to it a little bit through some of my Toastmaster colleagues here in Competitive Communicators. Aaron is working in Pathways, and Magda is working in Pathways. Trisha also. So my goal for 2018 is to embark on the new Pathways program, which I'm excited about. I know a lot of Toastmasters are dreading it. They're worried about it. They're afraid of it maybe, but I think it's brilliant. And I'm so proud that Toastmasters is doing, I mean, they started this like 5 years ago in order to be able to roll it out this year. So I'm just so stoked about Pathways. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Amy. Madam Toastmaster, will I have for one more person, or
We
is it
could do
time?
one more.
Okay. One more. I am going to call Misaka, because I love her table topics. Misaka, I'm going to ask you one thing.
Okay,
Where do you, I'm not going to ask you numbers. Where do you find inspiration? Where do you find inspiration, Misako?
Thank you, Table Topic Master Cannon. Your last name is one of them. Your name is so long. You said so many alphabets you're using. That is very inspirational. But to me, inspiration comes from all fellow Toastmasters and guests and people who are trying to do new things. It's a little bit scary, and tonight try to do some new technique and it just go forward and make it happens and see it works, and if it's not, adjust it and keep on going. I love the way people trying new stuff and fail fast, fail often, fail forward. That gives me inspiration. Then most of them come from Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters, and of course, soon to be Toastmasters. William often said, future Toastmasters. I love them so much, and I'm very, very grateful to be one of them. And yes, that's just the one. New technology often gives me new inspiration too. And back to my point is, what do I get inspiration from? Is something new, something people trying to be better version of themselves. Thank you. Back to you, table topic master.
I am muted.
Sorry.
Thank you. At this point of time, I am going to request everyone to pick your favorite table topic speaker and then send your vote to our Sergeant at Arms. I think the speakers for today are Lori Freeman, Dominic, Evie, and Misako. Please pick one and send your vote to the Sergeant at Arms. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. I'd just like to know from our timers, I guess, were all the table topics on time, and do they all qualify?
Yes, they absolutely all qualified.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, Dominic. Sorry, Dominic was only 25 seconds.
Okay, so Dominic does not qualify.
Sorry, it was
So
very
vote for send your votes to, I guess Aaron's here now, so we can send them to Aaron. I just wanted to say that I would prefer if we use the cards tonight and let Michelle be the timer. I just found, although the pictures were beautiful, I thought they were a little distracting. So I'm going to take the authority tonight to say, let's go with the cards. My suggestion for today would be to use those beautiful pictures, make them into small photos, and use them as timers, because they really are pretty. And we really did appreciate the technology. So from here, we get on to the exciting part of the evening, the second exciting part of the evening, which is our speakers. And we have 3 speakers today. Our first speaker is William Thomas, and he's going to be speaking from the Speaking to Inform manual, number 5, the abstract concept. Marty, since you're his evaluator, could you give us the objectives of William's speech, please?
I would like to, but William hasn't sent them to me.
Yes, I did.
Where, William?
I sent it in the chat.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then let's see. Where did you send them in the chat? Let's see.
Or maybe William tell us his objectives.
William, why don't you tell us what your objectives are? Because I don't see them.
Okay. My objectives is to tell a story that may or may not be true and factual information. So the story can be true or not true, in other words. It could be made up or a true story.
Got it. Okay.
So.
Okay. The abstract concept, William Thomas. William Thomas, the abstract concept. The woman with the red hat.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters. When I was 5 years old, my grandmother told me a story. William, or as she liked to call me, Pig, that was my little nickname she had me, because I said Pig. Pig, if you don't behave yourself, the lady with the red hat is going to come and get you. Grandma, there is no lady with the red hat. There's no such being. Made up. No, William, she is real. She visited me when I was 10 years old. 10 years old. Visited my grandmother. And all of a sudden, I hear this thump, thump, thump. And I open my door. And I look down the hallway. And I see this big, humongous woman with a red hat. I'm here to get you, William. I've been a good little boy. I haven't done anything wrong. Oh, yes, I have misbehaved. Brother. So you're coming for me for beating up my little brother? Yes, I'm going to take you downstairs. You mean where Hades is? Yes. Please, 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 please. Give me one more chance. Okay, but this will be your final chance. I was 10 years old, and all of a sudden, again, I hear thump, 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 thump. I had poured water down my friend's back the day before, and it was ice cold water. Just think about that. You said you were going to behave yourself. Well, can you blame a 10-year-old? We lie. Well, now I gotta take you to Hades. I gave you one more chance. Okay, I'll go to Hades. It's so hot. I'm sweating profusely. I just can't cool off. Just so hot, hot, hot. Now, you have been down here 2 days. Do you think you can be a good little boy? Yes, I promise. I really promise this time. I will be a good boy. I will be a good little boy. Okay, I'll take you back. And she brought me back. A week later, thump, 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 thump. I'm not here for you, William. I'm here for your brother. He has been a bad boy. What do you mean my brother's been a bad boy? Well, he put ice cream in this girl's hair. Well, he's asleep, and you're not going to wake him up. Why am I not going to wake him up? Because you're going to have to deal with me before you get to him. So, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, from around the world and beyond, be good little boys and girls, or the lady with the red hat will come and get you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, William. Our next speaker is Adrienne Williams, and Adrienne is going to be doing the first project from the Humorously Speaking Manual, Warm Up Your Audience, and the title of hers is New Year's Resolution. I do have a little something to read about Adrienne. She sent me an introduction. It says, Adrienne has over 20 years of experience in the financial services industry. She is a past corporate controller of a Fortune 500 company. She is a past auditor. Her clients include Miami-Dade County, the City of Miami, Florida Memorial University, and many others. So with that, I would like to introduce Adrienne Williams, speaking from the Humorously Speaking Manual, Warm Up Your Audience, New Year's Resolutions. But first, I would like to have her evaluator, Chris, give us the objectives of the speech, please.
Yes. Her objectives are to prepare a speech that opens the audience with a humorous story, personalize the story, and deliver the story smoothly and effectively. Your time, 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chris. And now we'll do this properly. Adrian Williams, New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions, Adrian Williams.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. That reminds me of the International Speech Contests, where it really counts. I know that all of you have a New Year's resolution for 2018. If you do, can you raise your hand? Absolutely. What I found is most New Year's resolutions come from something that happened to you the year before. And for me, my story begins on a cruise. Not just any cruise, the Tom Joyner cruise. This was many, many years ago. I won't dare tell you my age back then, but it was over 20 years ago. I was dressed in my little bikini. I had on my little wrap, and I was headed off to the beach party. You see, Tom Joyner does a beach party on the cruise, on a private island. But what you don't know is everybody at the beach party will be wet before you leave, because they bring water guns and they're escorting you as you go by, which is great because it makes you comfortable and it introduces you to people. You have to say hello. You can't go there all stuffy with your nose held up because you don't want to talk to anyone. Not at the beach party. They also have alcohol at the beach party. And if you have one of those little passes, you can drink as much as you want. I can't even tell you how many drinks I had. I had a lot of drinks that night, that day on the beach party. So when it was time to go, they were like, okay, everybody head back to the ship. So I'm walking to the ship, and I put on my shades to go back to my cabin because I'm kind of drunk. So I am trying to stay focused on where I'm walking. I get in the elevator, the doors close. I look to my right, there's my mom. But guess what? I didn't have in my head, my shades were on like this. But when she saw me, she said, Adrian, do you realize that your shades are not on your face? Have you been drinking? And so I politely fixed them. And I said, yeah, I was over with the Black Chippendales. We had a great time on the beach. We were having fun. It was amazing. So I get to the room. I'm drunk. It's time to lay down, and you know what happens. All of a sudden, my stomach is woozy. Oh, my goodness, I'm not feeling so good. She's like, did you have a martini? Yes, everyone knows when I have vodka, it doesn't end well. So, of course, I'm on the floor with this thing, and I'm trying to overcome this hangover that I know I'm going to have. And I'm praying to God, oh, Lord God, if you just let me recover from this experience, I'll never drink again. And that will be my New Year's resolution. I'll never drink again. So, of course, January 1st, I make a New Year's resolution. I'm never going to drink again. What's good about that? New Year's resolutions, 3 things. It helps you to identify self-reflection. And because of your self-reflection, you're going to have personal growth and development. It helps you to set goals so that the next year you can figure out what you're going to do. Did you meet your goal or not? So an example, I was drunk at the beach party. My New Year's resolution was, I'm not going to drink. What was my goal? To stop drinking by the end of the year. I set a time frame. I set my goal. And then that helped me to become sober because I didn't want to be drunk at the party. That gave me an option to be accountable. So that the next year, guess what? For New Year's, I was good. I was sober. I didn't have any drinks. I was good to go. But I also must tell you that something else changed in me. I had a spiritual revelation. So the drinking really didn't have anything to do with that beach party. It was just something that happened along my journey, which made it easier for me to stop drinking. When you think about some of the crazy things that you did, it might be you're trying to fit into your jeans, you're standing up, you're trying to pull them up, they won't fit. So guess what? Now you need to lose weight. There's another goal. So now that becomes my goal. I have a little belly. I need to do some sit-ups. Here we are, another year. I need to lose weight. So that becomes the next year, the new thing. I need to lose weight. I don't want to look like a little pig. I'm going to be determined to fit into those jeans. So here we go again, a challenge to meet a New Year's resolution. Now, I must say, I probably have done this same lose weight challenge many, many times before. And guess what? I haven't lost the weight. But that doesn't keep me from trying. I'll try again and again to continue to lose that weight. So fellow Toastmasters, whatever it is that you're struggling with for your New Year's resolution, maybe you had a bad breakup. Maybe it was something with your boyfriend. Maybe you had an embarrassing moment and you walked out of the bathroom with tissue on your shoe. Or you fell in front of someone. Whatever it may have been. Whatever that thing triggered in you that, you know what, I need some self-discovery. I need to set some goals. I need to be accountable. Join me in our quest for the 2018 resolutions for New Year's so that we can accomplish our goals together and have a better experience. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Adrian. Our third speaker tonight is Deborah. And Deborah is doing her icebreaker, the Pathways, Motivational Strategies, Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals. And I would like Dawn to give us the objectives for Deborah's speech, please.
Sure. The objectives for Deborah's speech are to give an effective, oh wait, that's mine, sorry. To introduce herself to the club and to learn basic structure of public speech. That's what it is. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. And now I will turn the authority to our speaker. Motivational Strategies Level 1, the icebreaker, Deborah. Deborah, the icebreaker.
Hello. I do some of my best thinking while walking my dog, Molly. And one day as we were walking, I started wondering how I had developed a subtle fear of public speaking. And as a result, I began comparing it to the boldness I had as a child when one summer, I was about 10 years old, I made some handwritten flyers, and I went through my neighborhood and invited my neighbors to a talent show at the Community Recreation Center that afternoon. However, after everyone filed in and they were seated, they were really shocked when they found out I was it. I was the only attraction. And fast forward, I'll never forget the look of pride on my mother's face after that one-woman show. She just was beaming with pride. I'll never forget that. I began to wonder, what happened to that little girl, that courageous little girl, and how could Toastmasters play a part in her resurrection? So I went online and I found a club in my area. And I remember that after I attended a few meetings, I began to notice a change, a positive change in my interaction with other people and my demeanor. And then when I started searching, I realized the only source I could attribute that to was Toastmasters. So I've always been fascinated by the science behind any successful program. So I began to research Toastmasters. And I found there was a definite success formula, which I've named it the 3 C's, which fosters courage, confidence, and community. And the number one tool, when I looked at courage, I feel Toastmasters uses for me was table topics, because it forced me to overcome my fear and come out of my comfort zone quickly. And I remember the first meeting, I was still a guest. I was called up for table topics to share an experience that I'd had with snakes. First, I started to panic, but then God was faithful, and he brought to my remembrance an incident that I'd had with my nephew, Ernell, and his pet snake. So I went on to share that particular moment. And when I was going back to my seat, I remember thinking to myself, yes, I can do this. Sign me up. Because that courage barrier had been broken. The second area I was affected was in confidence. And the tools that were used for me, which I considered powerful, was participating in the leadership of grammarian, timer, table topics, master, and the grand finale for me was Toastmaster. Because there's something miraculous for me in the area of providing service for others. It seems to lift my inspiration and my self-esteem. So then I went on to community, because in the beginning, I feel it's critical that you be surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals who are there's in a supportive capacity to cheer you on and give you the boost that you need. And I remember looking in a magazine, and Toastmasters magazine 2016, and it simply quoted, "Everyone struggles with obstacles and setbacks. A loved one dies, your health deteriorates, your marriage is no longer what it once was, and whether you're wrestling with fears, a physical ailment, mental roadblocks, or emotional battles, you are not alone. Life is full of unexpected hurdles, and as a Toastmaster, you not only have an outlet to share these stories in your speeches, you have a room full of people who become your biggest supporters." And finally, I would like to end by saying joining Toastmasters has been one of the best decisions of my life, one of the best. I have not only been able to witness a restoration of my own courage and confidence, but also the improvement of people that have joined around the same time I did. And I am very much looking forward to what this next chapter has for us all here at Competitive Communicators, and myself as well. Thank you, Toastmasters and guests. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And I would like to know from our timer, were all the speeches on time?
Absolutely, they were.
Okay, thank you so much. And you could vote for your best speaker and send it to Aaron. And now I'm going to turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, Tricia.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me the authority to finish this last portion of our meeting. At this point, I'll be calling up the evaluators to give their evaluations of our speakers. Our first evaluator is Marty. Please share your evaluation of William's speech.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and particularly William. William, your objective was to tell a story that might or might not be true. Can't tell at this moment which one that was, but I can tell you that you definitely connected with me and entertained me. For sure, I don't want to run into the woman with the red hat, and if I do, I hope you're going to be there to protect me. No question about that. You use great language to describe the woman as a humongous big woman. I felt intimidated just hearing about her. You use great words and great language to describe that. You built the story from the beginning. You created the characters, and you really modulated the characters by changing the voice. So you really acted it out. It wasn't just that you told the story. You acted it out, and you could tell who it was that was talking at the time. So those were very, very strong points. You use hand gestures, and you use your voice to moderate, so it wasn't boring. It kept our attention the whole time. The things that I would love to see more of, and I know you're familiar with this, it's mostly the technical stuff. I'd love to see you fix your microphone so that we could hear you more clearly, and that you could stand in front of the camera so we could see your face in full. There were times when you got really close to the camera and we could see the whites of your teeth. And that was a little uncomfortable, just getting that close. So you may want to stand back a little bit more. And so, because then we would be able to not only hear your voice better, but see the full of your hand gestures. You had some great hand gestures. You did the wiping of your brow. We could tell when you were sweating. I was starting to sweat just feeling it. It's pretty cold here. So you did an effective job there. But if you concentrate a little bit on the technical, it'll be even better. In general, I'd say it was a very strong speech because you built the story, you entertained us, and you really convinced us that we better watch out if we ever deserve to be invited and visited by the woman in the red hat. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Marty. Our next evaluator will be Chris, who is evaluating Adrian's speech. Chris, would you please share with us your evaluation of Adrian's speech?
There, can you hear me now? Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, Adrian, you were to warm us up, and boy, you brought in the alcohol right away. Adrian was to warm us up and to make us feel good. And I have to tell you, I was amused from right off the bat. And I said, wow, you're going in there. And what a great thing to do, because one of the things that you did, which I think that everybody could relate, is that you talked about alcohol. And when we talk about New Year's, I think everybody can think about that, or think about somebody that has to think about that. There's so many people that have to really think about that, and so many people who abuse it or like to use it at New Year's. It is probably the most used thing there is. And yes, we have fun with it, and yes, we have to use it appropriately. I love that you talk about the things that we have to use at a New Year's resolution. And I love the fact that you segued to different things, like, okay, let's go to weight, and let's go. However, one of the things that I would like you to do is to give equal time to different resolutions. And that's one of the things that I would love to see as an equal opportunity. However, you delivered. Boy, I love the way that, I love the manner that you speak. I love the strengths that you speak. And I love the strengths that you speak. You are a very confident and powerful speaker. You are obviously a very good Toastmaster. I don't know how long you've been in, but to me, you've been there for a long time. Shows your strengths. I do feel that you have to think about when you're doing your speeches, what can I do equally? You have to think about what you're doing. So bravo, great job. I don't know if that's the red light, but oh, green, okay. So great job. I'd love to hear more. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And our last evaluator for this evening is Dawn, who will be evaluating Deborah's speech. Dawn, would you please share with us your evaluation of Deborah's speech?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And Deborah, I was thrilled to hear this icebreaker. And I'll tell you, I was surprised, and then again, very not surprised that you did such a great job of organizing this speech. I was excited that I got to learn about you and your fears, and also something that was very present, but you didn't speak about it at all, outwardly, was your faith. And I have to say that I appreciate that you wove that into your speech. I really liked how you started your speech, that you do your best thinking when walking your dog. And I think that just tells us something really special about you and your relationship to your animal. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fact that you have just a great way of organizing yourself. Your speaking style is organized. You had the 3 C's, which were courage, confidence, and community. I really appreciated that you shared your childhood and where you felt that these fears came from, and then the full circle of how Toastmasters really helped you open up and have your restoration of your courage and your confidence, and finding this community that supports you and will not be upset if it's just a one-woman show, because if a one-woman show is just you, I'm there. I want to show up. I want to hear it, because this was really great. And I can't say enough about just how well I think you did do on writing this speech. I'm happy to evaluate you. Food for thought. I really wanted you to address the audience, and I'm not even sure if I did. I was trying to remember. Dawn, address the audience so you can show a good example of how to do this. And I think that was one thing that you could do to add that professional polishness to your speech. Address the audience, let us know that we're here, we're a part of that. And you could probably use a few little connections within your speech as well to keep drawing us in. Other than that, you did a great job. I loved your speech, and I can't wait to hear more from you, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
You, Miss Evaluator.
Tonight, we were helped by several members doing different jobs that helps us keep our meeting on time and on schedule. First person I would like to call to our virtual lectern is our all counter, Michelle Albalim.
Thank you very much, Tricia. I am either a very much gentler person in 2018, or maybe I need my ears checked. But honestly, I did not spot a single and I am amazed, because normally first few minutes into a meeting I'm like this time I seriously did not catch any. And it's not that I was not paying attention. I really tried to pay attention. I even had a list of names ready so it would be easy to just put a tally mark. I am amazed. This is wonderful. It's a wonderful start to the year. At least this counter did not hear any ahs or ums or so's. And it's either, as I said, I am so much gentler this year, which some people will probably go, yes, or there were no ahs or ums. So congratulate everybody. Everybody who spoke, congratulate yourselves. Even our guests, I believe, did not have an ah or an and that's amazing. That's a Guinness Book of World Records. So back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Next, I will call on our grammarian, Jerry. How did we do, and how much authority did we use while we spoke today?
Madam Toastmaster, there were 8 times that I recorded that authority was used. Evidently, that's a popular word, but the three different occasions. There were 8 times that authority was used. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you for helping us build our vocabulary. Next, our body language monitor, William. How did we do on camera today, William?
That's great. Everybody, everybody was great, Madam General Evaluator. Our guests, everybody did a great job. I don't have a bad report to give. And I return it back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, William. And then our timer report, which I believe will be from Michelle Albalin as well.
Yes, and I have already indicated earlier that except for one disqualification for table topics, everybody qualified. Now I'd like to give specifics on each of the speakers. Our prepared speakers, the first speaker was William. He had a time of 6 to 8 minutes. He wrapped up at 5 minutes and 9 seconds, which is within the minute allowance. So that was his time. Our second speaker was Adrian, and she had 5 to 7 minutes, and she was perfect, right on 6 minutes and 18 seconds, which is a really good way to use your time. Our third speaker was Deborah. As an icebreaker, she had 4 to 6. And great job, Deborah, with 5 minutes and 21 seconds. For our table topics speakers, we had Ms. Sacco at 1 minute and 25 seconds. Lori, our guest, at 57 seconds, which is within time. Dominic, unfortunately, was 22 seconds. And Evie was 1 minute and 35. For our evaluation, for our evaluators, the first evaluator, where are you? Evaluator 1, I think, oh, okay. I will just read the evaluators. I think I got them upside down, but they're all the evaluators. Marty evaluated for 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Dawn for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And Chris for 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Our grammarian had only about 20 seconds, and our accounter, that was me, had about 1 minute, and our timer's report is 1 minute and 39 seconds. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to send your favorite table topic speaker, your favorite prepared speaker, and favorite evaluator to our Aaron so he can tabulate the winners to provide to our Toastmaster of the day. Now, as general evaluator, it is my job to give an overall view of tonight's meeting so that we all can learn and grow together. First of all, we started on time, which is always a great start to any meeting. We had an innovative timer tonight with Hane that didn't quite work out, but we all overcame that and came up with other ideas for the future, and it went seamlessly from there. For our table topics, Kanan had some awesome, great questions for us. My observation, and it's just my opinion, is that of course, we always want to invite guests to try table topics. Perhaps have a member do one first so that if they haven't seen one before, they know how long we're supposed to speak and what the format, what type is supposed to follow. Makes it easier on them, I believe. We had 3 amazing speeches followed by 3 wonderful evaluations. Marty, you connected with William right away, got his story, reminded you of your grandmother, and an imposing lady apparently that you know in your life. You gave him encouragement as well as specific items that he can work on easily to enhance his speaking skills even more. Chris, you also connected right away with your speaker. with her discussion about her New Year's resolution on alcohol. You recommended her on her transitions, as well as giving her specific areas where she can work on to improve her speaking skills. And Dawn, again, we all connected with our speakers tonight, which was very great. That you shared that you enjoyed Deborah's interweaving of her faith without coming out and speaking about directly, but you picked up on that, and that connected you to her. You also shared how her walking her dog all connected us to her with her relationship with her dog. Because even though we might not all have an animal in our life, we can fairly easily fall into understanding what that kind of relationship is like. We've had a pet or know somebody who has a pet. Pretty much all of us do. You also gave her some tips that are very helpful, and the icebreaker is always a more gentle evaluation, I believe, which I think you did well. And that is my opinions about tonight's meeting. I think that overall we did very well. We were very positive, and I always enjoy coming to these meetings. I will now hand the meeting back over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Tricia, for a very authoritative evaluation. And now we come to who are the winners for this evening. For table topics, Misako. Best speaker, Deborah. And our best evaluator is Dawn. I would like to thank everyone for a great meeting this evening, for allowing me to be your Toastmaster. It was a lot of fun on really short notice. It was my first time doing it online, and I have to say it's not too much different than when you're at a brick and mortar club. So with that said, I thank everybody, and I would like to turn the meeting back over to the next person in line of, the first person in line of authority, who would be Marty. Thank you.
Well, Teresa, thank you. You, first of all, overcame an awful introduction by me to start the meeting, but you did a fantastic job on very short notice, so we really, really appreciate it. Great meeting, everybody, and it was some great speeches, great table topics, and some great evaluations. So thanks, everybody, for participating. Love the observations, and isn't it fantastic? If you watch your average hour-long news show, you would hear more ums and ahs in that time than we did in an hour and a half of our meeting. So it shows you the value of what we offer people. And if people ever say, well, public speaking isn't for me, ask them if they ever do any private speaking. Because most of our speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, and our table topics are 1 to 2. And I found that when people learn that it's really about improving their ability to converse and do phone calls and do conferences, they're much more open to the idea. So if you're selling the idea to somebody and they're having a hard time because they feel like they don't want to be public speakers, they really don't have to be. If you're just speaking at all, this is worth it.